Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Finding Yourself Masterclass. I'm your host, Clarissa Findlay, and I'm so excited to have Michelle Alva here with us today. She has some powerful things to share about how to find yourself in the physical sense with using your body. So I'll let her introduce herself and share some things that she has for us.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Clarissa, and thank you everybody for joining in this masterclass, Finding Ourselves. I love the topic. Well, I've been a physical therapist for the past 23 years, and my life has led me to question healing and the whole approach. Learning physical therapy, I learned using biomechanics, kinesiology, the science of movement, how to heal the body. But what I discovered in my own self was that I was holding a lot of emotions in my body tissues, pains, memories of the past. I had sexual trauma when I was 14 years old, and I was trying to live as a perfect mommy, perfect wife, perfect therapist. And what I had learned is that there was a lot of shame and guilt that I was holding on to that happened to me when I was 14, which manifested as physical pain inside my vagina. And today I work as a pelvic floor physical therapist, combining shamanic healing, energy healing, sound therapy, working with our mindset, because I was wearing a mask most of my life, trying to hide the parts of me that I was ashamed of and trying to be perfect and really hard on myself. And I discovered that that's really exhausting. So my body used to hold a lot of tension and pain. And I discovered ways of purging out the heaviness, the tension, the tightness, the stress, which was related to our thoughts and our perceptions. And basically, I've created this way of clearing what is no longer serving us, whether it's chronic tension, over holding in the body, and all that's left is our center clearly. And that's what I was sharing, was how we can access centering ourselves through certain practices using biomechanics and kinesiology and the respiratory system, understanding how the posture and the pelvic floor and the diaphragm work together, because a lot of us don't know how to breathe correctly, or we're breathing shallow. So when you're shallow breathing, you're more in a stress mode, fear mode. When you're breathing with your deep diaphragmatic breaths, you're feeling all of who you are. You're even expanding down more into your hips and into your pelvic floor, which a lot of us, I think the statistic is like 1 out of every 8 women have had some type of sexual trauma or some type of abuse that we hold, and we get tense in our genitals, in our hips. So if we want to find our center, we can go down a little deeper and start at the pelvic floor. And this is the root. And a lot of times that's a place that no one has gone before. So part of my work is massaging those deep tissues. And it's amazing how many people have, for example, from potty training, if your parents yelled at you or got upset with you because you wet your bed, some adults literally manifest hemorrhoids, hip tension, chronic hip pain because of the trauma of shame, because they wet their bed when they were 3 years old, something like that. So it's amazing what comes up in these sessions. And, when we want to talk about finding our true center, if we're holding on to all this past and we're so tense, we don't feel clear. We don't feel that it's easy to discover our purpose or find meaning in our lives, because we're carrying all this baggage of the past. So the work that I do today, knowing the anatomy and the biomechanics, I'm using also neurolinguistic programming, NLP, and working on people's beliefs and their mindset while I'm working in their body, so that simultaneously we can release those memories in the tissues and then release the actual physical tissues, which makes for a person to feel ignited and open and clear. And then all that's left is love and who we really are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about how our minds and our mindset and our bodies are so, interconnected, and how that works?
Yeah, so for example, since we're talking about finding ourselves, if you walk around saying, I don't know what I'm meant to be, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and your mindset is one of unsure, I don't know, I'm not clear, you're literally creating more tension in your body, because that doesn't make you feel really relaxed, right? Would you say that does make you feel relaxed? Everybody seems to have to know their purpose, right? So
Yeah.
that's going to cause adrenaline to be moving more in your body, the stress hormone, and that's going to create more tension in your jaw, tension in your neck and shoulders, tension in your genitals. So your digestion's not going to be as efficient. Your libido is going to go down. Your sleep's going to be disrupted. Your hormones of stress are going to be more amplified. And the relaxation, the nurturing, the regeneration, healing hormones are not going to be on their best. So your immune system's going to go down. So your thoughts are directly affecting how you look. You know, if you're chronically stressed out, you're not going to look as radiant. If you are more relaxed and you go with the flow, your jaw relaxes. So we look differently and we feel differently depending on what our thoughts are. And that's just the way it is. It's not my opinion. And we even impact our DNA and our genetic expression by our thoughts. There's a whole field called epigenetics. And it's really exciting because if we focus on gratitude, feeling grateful throughout the day, I tell my clients to, when they go to the bathroom, because everybody has to do that all day, you know, to look up. And this way you're opening up your posture, because most of us are looking down and we're on the computer. So you can look up in the bathroom while you're peeing or pooping, and you can just say, I'm grateful for whatever it is that you want to be grateful for. So that's a way of resetting your nervous system. And you have to go to the restroom anyway. And another one is when you wash your hands, to look in the mirror and just looking into your eyes, because that stimulates oxytocin, the love hormone. And thank yourself for being yourself. That's it. Being enough, being yourself. And while you wash your hands, you can wash off anything you're holding on to. So you can literally say, what am I holding on to that's stressing me out? And you can just send it into the drain. So there's these little physical, mental rituals that they're releasing rituals throughout the day, that the more you release, the more you're going to feel your center, the more clear you're going to feel. So this is how I work with my clients, where it's functional, it's fun, and intentional. And all of those things make us go inside also. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for you. What do I want to release? So this is a way of getting in touch with the inner wisdom, our inner voice. And that's a great way to keep finding our center, right? Discovering who we really are by asking those questions.
I love that. I love what you said about looking at yourself in the mirror and and I've never thought of it that way. Like, you know, when we look at other people in the eyes, we feel that sense of connection. And when we look at ourselves in the eyes, I was thinking of one of my friends. I saw a video the other day of her little baby who was like looking in the mirror and just like so excited to be seeing himself back, you know, and that's awesome. You know, that we can create that same feeling now as adults just by making eye contact with ourselves and thinking into the self-love that we have. Yeah.
Eye
Yeah, that's
contact,
awesome.
they discovered that when we look at each other's eyes, that we're secreting oxytocin, the love hormone, which is the connection hormone. It's the focusing hormone, the healing hormone, and the emotional processing hormone. And that's part of the reason why sometimes we don't look at people's eyes, because it's causing us to feel that connection and that healing. So if you're angry at someone and you're holding on to a lot of resentment and you look at them, you're going to melt. You're going to have more love hormone. So vice versa, if we could take that risk and just choose to look, because what we resist persists, right? Then you're going to eventually emotional release, whether it's sadness. You know, we really all want to connect. That's what we're designed to be. So I recommend, let's start with ourselves, because for me, I looked for love outside of myself most of my life. And that's what my whole journey has been, this inner journey of being soulfish instead of selfish. And in soul, I mean my heart, connecting to what do I really want? Because I never even asked myself what I really wanted, because I felt that would be selfish. And now I shamelessly and guiltlessly keep asking myself, is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to create? And I'm going from this place of inner referencing, where my life feels much more fulfilled today, because I'm not living for other people. And that's okay, because you can't actually do that. You know, it's draining. It's very draining to not live true to ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what was the process that you went through, and how do you suggest other people find that, that inner confidence? Because so much of it, we're trying to search for what we really want to do. We are sometimes so influenced by what you just said, not wanting to look selfish or not wanting to look like we just only care about ourselves, when really the truth is, when we're doing what we really love, then that's when we're able to influence and actually give more. But how do we get to that place?
Well, suffer a lot. Do the opposite. That's what happened. I mean, I was raised, and I believe in God. I believe in a creator that does everything on purpose, and it's all
Hmm.
happening for us, as Oprah says. So I just kind of surrendered at age 37 to my life of me not feeling fulfilled. I would cry in the bathroom. True story, when I was married, and I just was feeling so overwhelmed. And I think your happiness meter, check in with that. Am I happy? Do I feel fulfilled? Ask yourself those questions, and then feel grateful for however you're feeling, because it is simply a reference point as to where you are in your life. So if you're not feeling fulfilled, if you're feeling empty, if you're feeling drained, definitely reach out to work with me, because that's what I help people with, is feeling fulfilled. But aside from that, just in this interview, I would hug yourself and just get more intimate with yourself and ask yourself, how can I love you more? How can I be more of your cheerleader, best friend? How can I support you more? And just closing your eyes, taking deep breaths. You put your hand on your heart, massage your belly, massage your breasts. Because when we massage our chest and this part of our body, we're secreting that love hormone, oxytocin. And you will be amazed at how much wisdom comes up. It just comes up. What I feel is we're all not asking ourselves enough questions. And maybe we'll call up a friend to see what they think about what we should do. But how many of us are told, oh, tap into your inner wisdom? What does your inner voice think? And this is what my work is all about, is really strengthening our soul connection, heart connection, intuition connection. All of those are the same. And the more we're in a relaxed and calm parasympathetic nervous system state, which is what the work I do takes people in their body to learn how to master their ability to amp up their own relaxation response, so that we can just be the witness of all the suffering and drama of the world. And then we can act from this place of total acceptance that whatever's happening, it's there to teach us something. And this is something that helps me so much in my life with my 13-year-old, especially how we just started school. And when I can't control her, I realize I'm not supposed to control her, and I could just witness my teenager and use my techniques to give her space and to let her have all her emotions, and let me have all my emotions. So it's helped me a lot to go back in my body and to really be a river instead of a sponge. So instead of me holding everybody else's obligations, expectations, what I do now is I pretend I'm a waterfall and I'm a river. So those metaphors help me a lot. And then I use my breathing, which I love to guide you on if you want, to share a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that we would love that. Yeah.
I invite everybody to lean back into your chair, or if you're standing, stand against the wall. And you're just going to close your eyes and lean back and open up your heart, open up your neck, and take a deep breath in through your nose. And you're going to breathe the deepest you can. And then exhale, open your mouth. You're going to open up your jaw. And I'm also a Tantra practitioner, and Tantra is all about expanding our sexual creative energy. And we use a lot the opening up the jaw. And a lot of us hold tension here. So throughout your day, you can take breaks and just lean back. And exhale. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale through the nose, lean back, let the chair support you. Exhale, open your mouth. One more. Leaning back. And then you inhale, come back to center. So this is a way of programming yourself throughout the day to process and release tension, stress, anything that you're holding when you open your jaw, you're stimulating a nerve that goes down to the diaphragm, and it actually helps us to induce more of that relaxation response. If you think about it, when we yawn, or if somebody maybe has pain, they're like, ah! So we tend to do that. Just reflexively, you can actually start incorporating more consciously while you're driving. Maybe you're running late to a meeting or picking up your child from school. So these are ways that you can. Sometimes I'll put it on mute if I'm feeling I need to, in the past when I've been speaking to my mom, and if the conversation, we're Latinas, if something's not going exactly how I want. This is a way for me, who has been such a control freak, okay, and super hard on myself, to neutralize the hardness and the control, and just, I can't control everything. I'm not meant to. So these are techniques that I created that now a lot of people benefit from, using them in this way. Because, for example, you can go to a yoga class and maybe everybody's doing lion's breath, but incorporate this while you're in the elevator all by yourself, or if you're on your way driving somewhere, and incorporate this into your everyday so that you're flowing like a river through life rather than holding on for dear life, which is what most of us do. And that's when my clients come in with hip tension, neck tension, jaw tension, low back pain. Tension, pain, we're holding. We're masters at holding. So what I do is I teach people how to release and process and be rivers and streams and waterfalls.
I love that. Oh, I love that. And I want to share, thank you for giving me permission to do that. Yet it brought to mind yesterday, I was in my car, and had a long day and just was feeling exhausted. And I did that. I let out kind of, like a big sigh, like that, and then I kind of felt like, oh, that's like a not happy, positive sound. I don't want to make that, but I love what you just shared, because it's a release, it's like letting go of that tension out of me, so then I can feel more centered. So thank you. That's very helpful. Yeah. You call it what? Say that again.
Emotional farting.
Emotional farting. I love it. I love it.
A lot of us are holding on to a lot of baggage, a lot of emotional constipation, and we get constipated. Because I work with irritable bowel syndrome and people that have high blood pressure, and they're literally like this in their chest. It is bound up. And I'm very proud to say that yes, we can pass gas, emotional gas, through our mouth. And it's awesome to talk about it, because I think sometimes I've taken it way too seriously. I'm a Cancer woman, and that's my sign. I know that I've been a little too much of a drama queen, when I could have just been laughing about things that I take too seriously, or just laughing more in general, because that's also you're doing the mouth. And then I realized I could just watch my dramatic life or my stressful life. I can watch it. I don't have to be it. And it's not dissociating. It's about not getting hooked in. And then maybe like what I discovered was, when I was so overwhelmed, I thought, man, I got to get more organized. I got to get more on a schedule of something, because I'm all over the place. So I'm just being really real with myself here. There's a lot of beautiful things that happen, but these coping mechanisms help me in the instant. The minute it's happening, I will, or just shaking my body. Doing this is another way to release. And for some of us, we can't even do this. I ask my clients, let's see what their release ability is. And some people literally can't do it. It's hard for them.
Yeah.
It's forgotten to loosen up. And then we're tight asses, literally. And I work with the butt. So I know.
I love that. So what's coming to mind, because I speak with so many women and who are trying to discover what their purpose is, what they want to do, and they're not happy. They're in a job that they hate. They're in a relationship they don't feel good in. They're just feeling stuck. And so since it is a process, and since it is, since we do need to get to that fun, loose place in order to be able to even feel what's next for us, how can people shift? I mean, you've shared some great things already, but how can people feel good and happy when they're in a space where they're just not, you know?
So I just want to make it very clear that I'm 45 years old, and most of my life, 37 years, okay, at least, I was not in a happy place, okay? I had sexual trauma. My dad left when I was 12. And all of this that I'm talking about is not about being happy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what
Yeah.
I believe I do today different is I accept myself wherever I am, and I'm grateful for everything that's happening. So sometimes we say, oh, you know, he's Mr. Wrong, or that's the wrong job, or I hate my job. So here's the thing. What if everything was perfectly wrong for you to teach you something for the next, whatever that is? So what if Mr. Wrong was actually Mr. Right now, Mr. Right now, because everything that's happening is happening on purpose, remember? And what it is just feedback for you. So whatever we're attracting into our lives, our jobs, our relationships, our relationship with ourselves, it's just there as feedback of what's your inner relationship. So my recommendation to people is first, massage the heck out of yourself. Touch yourself. That's right. Touch yourself everywhere. If you want to get to know who you are, get to know your body parts, because your body is your subconscious mind. Your actual body is your mind. And you don't have to understand that right now. We can have a free clarity call and I can explain that later. But feel this out, okay? So let's just say that, because my clients, they come in with pain in their butt, and I say to them in the session, they're laying face down, is there a pain in the ass in your life? And I swear to you, people will start crying. And after they breathe into their tushy, they say, it's my mother-in-law. It's my husband's brother. He's living with us for the past year. Or they'll say, oh my God, it's my daughter. I'm so ashamed that I said that. I literally have somebody on a testimonial video that she had pain in her neck. And I asked her, is there someone that's a pain in the neck in your life? And she then started crying because she felt guilty. She's like, I don't even want to say this, but it's my daughter, who's really intense and empowered, just like her mom. And so things like that, if you want to get to know yourself, get to know your body, and the parts where you're holding pain, those are the parts that I would be the most prioritizing, because your body's talking to you. So if you want to get to know yourself deeply, listen to your body. And you can just lean back and say, well, what's my body telling me? Where is my body talking? And the parts that are the loudest are usually the ones that have pain, tension, tightness, that you feel. Maybe sometimes you feel numbed out. You might say, I don't feel anything. And that might make you start to cry. And that means you may have dissociated. There might have been a trauma, because that's what happened to me. I dissociated. So I couldn't, when I was making love to my husband, I couldn't really look into his eyes. I checked out. So people would say, Michelle, hello, where are you? So that was me. And that's what today I do. Massage myself. I massage my belly, because you have your gut feeling and your intuition in your heart. So your gut feeling is intuitive, and it's actually real. And then you have your heart, your intuition. So if you literally spend time massaging your chest, I'm doing it, and then massaging your belly, and just close your eyes and get to know your gut. When was the last time you really touched your gut? And like, whoa, my gut's really hard, or, oh, my belly's soft. I feel that. So when you're feeling, that's when you open up to your intuition. So you don't want to think about what you're feeling. I had a psychologist, and I said to her, how do you feel? And she goes to me, let me think about that. So she was still in her head after the session. It was really hard for her to get down. And I highly recommend massaging your genitals. That's right. Remember, I'm a Tantra practitioner and a pelvic floor physical therapist, because you have a lot of sensory nerve endings for pleasure in your pelvis. And when you touch yourself in pleasure-rich nerve ending spots, you're getting a lot of message to your brain about yourself in a peaceful way, in a loving way. And just for some people, that might make them feel judgmental. They might be like, oh, I don't want to touch my genitals. You know, it's amazing. Like, I didn't touch my genitals until I was 37 years old, after my divorce, because I was raised Catholic, and you're not supposed to masturbate. But that's a whole other interview. So I encourage you to touch yourself lovingly. And you can even imagine you're touching yourself with a pink color. You can touch yourself with a beautiful rose and do some type of ritual to get to know yourself. And why do I do this? Because it makes me feel more. I also use aromatherapy oils, the doTERRA oils, and those help me to smell and just wake up more my senses. So if you want to know yourself, know your toes, know your pelvic floor, touch yourself, and you might touch your thigh, let's just say, and you might think, ew, I don't like my body. So then you just got to know yourself. You see, you get to uncover all the stuff that's down there in the tissues that we hide. So I feel your body, remember your body is divine. It's made by God, creator, source, however you want to call it. Not just our parents. You know, our parents were made then by another creator, by the creator, right? And so forth and so forth. Like this whole, everything that's been created, like who designed this rose? So the more you go back to your body, the more you're going also deeper into your soul, your essence of who you are, the miracle that you are. And I mean, some people, they're like, I have to go to India to discover myself. But how many of us say, let me go deeper and really know every little crack and crevice of myself to know my soul? Because your soul is in your body with your breath, keeping it alive, your essence. And this is how I look at spirituality, is very much about embodiment. But then the body's only 99%. I mean, the body's only 0.00001% of what we really are. So this is actually not dense. It's 99% made of energy. And if I look at myself under an electron microscope, I'm just vibrating molecules of protons, neutrons, and electrons. So don't get too attached to this whole thing that I just told you to massage. Remember that it's mostly vibrational and it's energetic. And that gets really exciting, because that's where we can shift pain like that, because we're energy. So the more you get to know this, the more you're actually making it more alive and vibrating even more, because it's love. When you're touching yourself lovingly, and if you don't feel lovingly, feel whatever you're feeling, and then just process those emotions. And then eventually, the more you fart out those old resentments or anger towards your body or judgment towards your body, eventually all that's left is love. So this is what happens. This is the journey. I had to do a lot of and a lot of breathing and feeling myself, because my body was a source of pain and shame. And I was really embarrassed that I didn't let this teenager know that I didn't want him to touch me when I was 14. So I was ashamed. I thought nobody would ever want me because I wasn't a virgin anymore. So my mind made up all this negative gossip about myself, which caused my genitals to be tight. But look, God put that in my life so that I could become a pelvic floor therapist, incorporating mindset, sound therapy, you know, self-empowered healing. So you see how we can turn all of our drama into a dreamy, you know, a journey, and learn from it. And then we can serve others, make our mess into our message. That's what I've definitely done. And then that mess actually is guiding us towards our purpose. It's so amazing how that happens. So if you're having some type of mess in your life, a challenge, something that you think is a problem, that is the fruit, the juiciness of whatever it is that I really do believe that they're on purpose. All of our dramas and traumas, if we could say, what can I learn from this challenge? How can I grow from this challenge? What is it teaching me? If you can do that, that's what I recommend while you're massaging yourself. This heartache or this high blood pressure, you know, what is it teaching me? And just learn from it. Then your life is going to be more fruitful and juicy. And that's what I wish for all of us, because life feels more, I feel more productive today. I feel more in service and fulfilled. And I found the love inside me. It was inside me the whole time. It was just really about my mindset, letting go of my story. And believe me, stuff creeps up. It's not about being perfect and being happy all the time. But today I'm grateful for the crap, you know, that happens, because I'm like, yay, let's just turn this into fertilizer. And then I'll just process my, you know, when I don't get what I want, you know, I'm just, I don't keep resentment anymore for years and years and years like I used to. And I feel like I look younger, I'm more joyful, I have more energy, and I'm more orgasmic, you know, my whole body's more orgasmic, and that all translates into a more creative, productive me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love everything you shared. I can relate so much. I love what you've shared about the body, because, and I'm sure so many of our viewers can relate too, you know, like growing up being taught like it's absolutely not okay to touch myself in any way. How am I supposed to know myself, you know? And it's so true. And then, you know, part of, as we own our story, as we own our past, as we own the messy things that have happened along the way, and we take them in and we see how they have brought us to where we are now and what we can learn from them and what we can create from them, then they become the beautiful, you know, cultivating soil of who we are now and step forward into what we want to be. So beautiful, everything that you shared.
It's the journey keeps evolving, you know, because this
Mm-hmm.
last year I really have dove deep into Tantra, and my wish now is for every woman to know where's her G-spot, where's her clitoris, to know how her body can orgasm with her whole body, and how
Mm-hmm.
it's the best facial rejuvenation, and it's the most awesome way to relax and de-stress, and it doesn't have to be about sexual addiction. You know, people think, oh my God, sex addict, Tantra, and no, your whole body is orgasmic. It doesn't just have to be about your genitals. So that's the newest thing, is just helping people be so in touch with the openness of themselves that you can feel orgasmic at the ocean. You know, it doesn't have anything to do necessarily with just your genitals. And that's the latest. As I grow and expand and open, I hope you can feel my sincere appreciation for this human, beautiful body that is so sacred and divine and a miracle. And I'm so grateful that I got to share my passions today. So thank you so much, Clarissa. And thank you everybody for this awesome journey we're all taking together on the Masterclass.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for what you shared. You just glow. We can feel your passion coming straight out of you. So that's amazing. Is there anything that any last thing you'd like to share, or anything that you're up to next that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, I would love to invite people that if you're interested in working more over the phone with me and getting more connected to your inner, deeper parts, I would love to offer you all a 30-minute clarity call. You just go to my website on contact and just click there. And then I would love it if everybody commits, you know, just to keep looking in the mirror when you wash your hands. Let's all do that, you know, just to commit to this one little ritual and share it with your friends, the ritual. And let's keep on staying in this appreciation of ourselves, because no one else is going to do that for us if we're not doing it for ourselves, right? So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you.
You know, if you're interested,
yes, absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. That was wonderful. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll talk soon.